Welcome back to Slow News Day Live. You are watching us exclusively on the Rockfin. My name is Steve Poikinen. I am joined by my better than your co-host, Glory Jones. Let's not remind people that there are buttons with my face on them. Let's avoid that.
I'll rest it right here.
We're joined this afternoon again, but I really look forward to this. I really do. I'm very pleased to be welcoming back to the show writer and researcher extraordinaire Cory Morningstar. Great to have you back with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me back. Thank you.
We're going to have to I guess include the mischief maker or
yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
What it is. I had a friend once arrested for malicious lingering.
Ooh. Sounds dangerous.
He's like 6'3", 250, gutter punk from Detroit named Vandal. But he was just sitting in his truck waiting for his girlfriend to get off work as a waitress at a Waffle House in Denton, Texas, and got rolled up on by 3 cop cars.
Wow.
Then when they discovered he was just sitting there waiting to pick his girlfriend up from work, had to fabricate a reason to arrest him and eventually charged him with malicious lingering.
Wow.
You think that there's like a just barely creative guy that they keep in a room somewhere where when they need ridiculous charges to be added onto somebody? There were people in New Orleans. I got arrested in New Orleans right before Jazz Fest during the street sweep of the homeless. And I was arrested for obstructing the sidewalk.
Wow.
There was a guy in there who had been arrested for, I swear to God, interfering with the flight path of a pigeon.
Really? Well, yeah, I'm sure there's a foundation that works on this stuff. Or I think
what's funny is that's what they arrest people here down in LA for too. If you're on the wrong part of the sidewalk, yeah.
Wow.
If you're dealing with the sheriff's department, they have like this yellow slinky thing. If you touch that, they'll arrest you. It's
really?
It's kind of funny almost.
Fascism.
I want to get this out of the way too, just real quick. We're talking about ridiculous charges. There was a guy in the Orleans Parish Prison who had been arrested on multiple charges. One of them was leaning with intent to fall.
Ooh.
And then another one was conspiracy to masturbate.
Was it a conspiracy?
Well, the charge for conspiracy to masturbate got you more time than public urination, which is what it was.
Yeah, what the hell's going on? God. It's like really like one continuous Black Mirror episode. Twilight Zone that never ends, right?
Literally just before you hopped on the call, Cory, I was going through social media and I'm seeing so many pictures of people doing like glam shots, getting their vaccines.
Yeah, it's like super woke. Well, I mean, have you guys had a chance? I did, I think altogether 4 different, my threads that I do on Twitter. I did 3 or 4 different ones. One was from the behavioral, what was it called? The behavioral change office in the UK. I did one on that. It was in conjunction with the WHO. I can't remember. Anyway, I did another one on the Rockefeller. They're all communication reports for, academia and the medical profession, nurses, NGOs, so everyone's on the same page. I did one for Share Share Verified, which is Purpose, in conjunction with the United Nations. That included Halo, which is Facebook and TikTok, and you know, it just, I mean, it's just endless. Anyway, they're really, really eye-opening. They're even in the barbershops, right? Like basically recording people's opinions on the vaccines, like trying to figure out how to get more uptake for the vaccines. And it's a huge part of it. Influencers, celebrities, right? And so even these glam shots you're talking about, I mean, even barbershops now are involved. It's like just millions, even billions of dollars going into how we get people to, you know, want these vaccines, not just take them, but actually want them, you know, actually demand them. And I mean, we see that, and it's incredible, you know, that it's actually happening. Right?
It's a full scale, like not just propaganda, but almost like counter espionage.
It's a psyop. I mean, at this point, this is a full-scale psychological operation. It is. I mean, I was just, again, looking today, you know, at papers on shock and awe. I mean, this is psychological, right? And this is why now we have, if you looked about a week ago, some articles were written quoting a doctor in one of the biggest pediatric hospitals in France that we're in an actual global epidemic of suicides amongst youth and children, right? 9-year-olds just saying they do not want to live any longer, right? Yeah. I mean, this is insane. This is crazy. And today I saw an Ontario doctor, a different article came out in Canadian media, CBC. Again, another report, suicide skyrocketing, right? Amongst children, eating disorders skyrocketing, you know, self-mutilation, all this stuff. And he said the moment this report hit the public, this should have stopped at that moment. But it won't stop, right? Because the children are the collateral damage, right? I mean, we're all collateral damage, but more than anyone, the children are the collateral damage. And of course, those most vulnerable, like the very elderly who are, you know, have comorbidities and are in a more fragile state, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a big fucking psyop, and it's powerful, and we've forgotten everything that we all used to know and believe about media, right? About media manipulation, right? Who owns the media? Who does the media serve? Right? It's like we've all become hypnotized, right? We've forgotten all the propaganda, all the tools used to create to create acquiescence for wars on Iraq, wars on Syria, wars on Libya. I mean, Venezuela. The list is fucking long, right? Long as night. And why do we forget? Why have we become again? Like, why have we just forgotten? Have we forgotten? Like, has fear overtaken our, our ability to think? It's insane.
I mean, in a lot of cases, it really has, especially when you think of it's like you said, it has to be a psyop, because you think of just the massive propaganda and people buying into it around this COVID vaccine, like people who normally brandish like hammers and sickles are all of a sudden celebrating a Pfizer vaccine and are proud of the fact that they got one. Like, it's insane when you think, because I don't think I remember in my lifetime, at least, so many people celebrating getting a jab. I don't. And with this, it's like the biggest deal in the world.
Yeah, and it literally is an experimental vaccine. That's not, quote unquote conspiracy theory. That's right out even in mainstream. That's acknowledged. I mean, there's no way to not to acknowledge it. It's never been tested on humans. And this whole mRNA vaccine is the whole foundation of going forward for biotech, right? Which is a fourth industrial revolution emerging technology. I mean, so much going forward is based on that. And so this is actually the catalyst for how to begin to implement this, to experiment. We are in an experiment, and it's incredible that people are willing to for a virus that almost over 99% of people will fully recover from, that they're willing to participate with these industries that have poisoned our bodies, they've poisoned our planet, they've poisoned the soil, they've poisoned our water. These are not our friends, right? I mean, it doesn't take a lot to do simple searches for even the amount that, the billions of dollars in damage done by Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson. They're all the same, right? They serve, capital profits. They do not serve people. They don't give a fuck about us, right? And I don't get how all of a sudden people somehow want to believe that they actually care about our health. Like, since when? Since never.
Especially the AstraZeneca vaccine, which is literally being banned from states and countries. And Whitney Webb did a great article on this, essentially exposing the fact that the makers of the vaccine had ties to British eugenics groups. So when you put the AstraZeneca vaccine into the mix as well, it's like there's no good there's no good vaccine, there's no good company that's coming up in all of this. And even if a good vaccine does come up, then it's like, oh, well, we still don't know the long-term effects of that vaccine. Yet everybody is so gung-ho to celebrate it regardless.
I've told people that I'm refusing to participate in an experiment, and they've looked at me like I'm crazy because I'm not subjecting myself to literal untested human experimentation with a drug that is writable once it's inside of your bloodstream.
Yeah, an operating system, right? I mean, that's what they call it. Moderna calls it that, an operating
But
system.
I'm the weirdo for going, no, miss me with that until maybe we know more about it.
Or maybe not ever. Why do you want a vaccine when we have immune systems that have evolved? My body has created other people, right? My body is very highly intelligent. I have an immune system, and when I treat it well, it protects me. So for healthy people, I mean, the whole idea, I haven't been able to articulate it yet. I haven't tried, but I've been thinking about it in the back of my mind. How, I mean, you guys know what this is. For the past couple decades, people, doctors, parents, teachers, psychologists, we've all been talking about nature deficit disorder, right? Especially with children. But there's something happening here, something else. It's like some sort of dysmorphia with our own bodies and with our own immune systems, where we forget that our bodies are designed to protect us, and that we have these immune systems. And for some reason, and I find it very patriarchal, we have more faith and belief in Bill Gates and all these horrible pharmaceutical industries that again serve capital, not people. We have more faith that they know what's best for our body, that we need them for, to protect ourselves. And so there's this disassociation with our own bodies. And that's like very fucked up. Like, I don't know if I'm articulating it very well, but there's something there that's really fucked up.
No, you are, and this is something that we've kind of explored a little bit on the show, but that I've been thinking about a lot lately too, and it relates specifically to the severe rise in suicides and mental health in kids, because there has been a disassociation, I think, is the best way to describe it, but it's been implemented. Like people have been, I guess, pressured to or forced to disassociate, and what paved the way for that, I think, was all of the consequences for speaking out that led up to this, and all of the myriad punishments that we've seen play out for whistleblowers or for
Yeah.
journalists or for publishers or just private citizens who want to have uncomfortable conversations. And the backlash and the ability to get people to collectively turn their back on facts and reality in favor of a narrative, like
Yeah.
that operation to get people to do that, it has been largely successful because we are where we are right now. And this is the culmination of, at least in a post 9/11 world, every effort of a national security state propaganda campaign post 9/11, I believe, was, in order to get us to this moment where, the country's taking fucking glamour shot selfies of them getting a vaccine, putting it in black and white and like with a little sparkle on it.